Good morning, everyone. This is Julie McDonald with Microcom Technologies, and I'd like to thank all of you for attending today's webinar with ReadyNet Solutions. Today's host is Bill Pedersen, and he is their Voice Product Director and will be presenting today. If anyone has any questions, please submit them in the question box, and Bill will answer them at the end of today's presentation. Bill, thank you so much for being with Microcom again this morning. We appreciate your time. Looking forward to what you have to share with us. I am finished for now. Please go ahead and take it on over.
Thanks, Julie. I greatly appreciate it, and thanks for everyone for attending today's webinar. We're going to be talking about voice product services and the ReadyNet's managed ATA routers, and hopefully you'll find this very interesting, and there's kind of a little caveat to that, but very informative on some of the changes that are coming up in our industry and how we can capitalize on this change and bring some more dollars to our bottom line. So ReadyNet, based here in Salt Lake City, Utah, has been doing managed routers and ATA products for a number of years now for wireless internet service providers and managed service providers. And we also provide managed service portals as well, so you can manage those devices. In addition to our managed routers and our ATAs, we also have a line of LTE equipment, and we're looking forward to announcing future products that will be coming out shortly in the LTE space as well. So stick around and pay attention for those announcements. Today we're going to be covering managed ATAs. Excuse me. This is why I have my water. And some of the changes that we're seeing in the industry. Excuse me. Back in August of 2019, the FCC released a mandate requiring telephone network companies, service providers, that they'll be able to sunset POTS lines, which POTS line stands for plain old telephone service. And they can start doing this phase out approach August of 2022. And what's coming up here? Some dates and timelines of when they can start doing this. It's going to be approaching us fairly quickly, and we're starting to see that in the industry as well, because of the demand for ATA products are coming. We're seeing more and more demand for ATA products to start replacing out these plain old telephone system lines, these analog lines. And there's a thought. I've gotten some notes. There's probably over, 36 million lines. Probably, I would say there's even more than 36 million analog lines that have been in use for the last, years and years and years, let's say. And their FCC is saying, hey, due to cost and infrastructure, it's going to be easier to do everything over IP base. So ATAs have that option to convert that analog telephone line into a digital line, and you can then register that with SIP services or SIP trunking as well. Now, where are these analog lines being used? They're just your traditional, from a traditional phone line for voice calls, fax machines, ATMs, elevator call boxes, highway call boxes, alarm, access door call boxes, or, into the back of a building, fire alarms, burglar alarms, HVAC systems. There's just so many different applications that analog lines are being used, and they're primarily used outside of the voice spaces to gather data and information on devices that are in use. And so with this change, now I've heard, and I'll just give you Bill Pedersen's perspective on this. we're seeing phone lines already back on the East Coast and in the Midwest starting to increase in cost. Carriers are now notifying their customers that the services will still be available, but in order to have these services, you're going to pay a premium price. I've seen the cost range from anywhere, well, around here in the mid-mountain range area of Utah, we're seeing around $35, $45. I've seen it as, with some carriers as high as $65. And I've got customers that are telling us that they've been told that their phone lines are going to be around $210 per month. So if you have a customer that has multiple sites, businesses, facilities, where they've got elevators in these, this can be quite an additional cost and burden to the end user. School districts is another prime example where we're seeing a lot of analog lines in the school districts. So you add that up, a couple $100 per line, that can get pretty expensive. So after August 2nd, the carriers can increase the price of these services, and unless you get canceled. Now, if you go to order new services, they'll basically say no. And we've seen this happen quite some time now, where these services they just don't, they haven't brought the copper facilities into these new buildings and such. So so you really can't even bring in some of these copper lines. So we're going to talk about ReadyNet's ATA products and some of the options and solutions that you have. And on your screen, we're just working directly from the website. And we are, if you go to ReadyNetSolutions.com, you go to products, and you can go down to managed ATA VoIP routers. And this is where we list all of our ATA products. We also have under 4G managed products, if you go to the LTE 520S, this is also an LTE router that has 2 ATA ports on it. And under our managed routers, if you see a router that ends with MS, or has MS contain it, we got an MSF, that one's got a fiber port, but these are all ATA products as well too. And so you can offer, if you just need a single managed router with 2 POTS lines on it, you can provide those services. But for direct analog only, these are some great options to take a look at. First one we have is the QX300. QX300 is a very unique router. It's got the power switching power supply is built internally. We have one analog phone line. We have a USB port. We have a WAN and a LAN port on there as well. So we can pass through and not give up too much on the Ethernet port if we're limited on the number of ports we have in that area. The other thing is we have built-in Wi-Fi on this, and you can actually bridge this device to a wireless access point and use that for connectivity for the voice registration on the SIP account. Okay, very popular product, and it's, if I need an analog line in the back room on a panel or something, and I don't have Ethernet in that area, this is a great solution, because now I can bridge this to my existing Wi-Fi services and connect that ATA port for that analog line. Some just basic things. I'm going to just go over some of the features here, because what you'll see on the features on this product, you'll see on the other products as well. It supports T.38 fax, does it very well. This one definitely has the 802.11 Wi-Fi on there as well. So not only can you connect this to an existing Wi-Fi network, this can also act as an extender for Wi-Fi in certain areas in your building as well. Fast-E on the network, on the Ethernet ports, and then there's some features for the voice services that if you want to have. And to be honest with you, this would come in handy probably for a voice application more than a data application. But it does support three-way calling. You can place calls on hold. You can forward the calls to another number. You can transfer calls to another user on the network, etc. So your basic voice call features are available on this product as well. Option 66, TFTP, HTT, HTTPS, and we do Tier 69 for provisioning. So you've got a number of different ways of provisioning this device on your network. All of the routers are dual image, and dual image means that if you ever update the firmware on this device, if something happens during that firmware update, it'll revert back to the original firmware. So we do carry dual image firmware applications on all of our LTE routers. So kind of rolling down, we do have the QX202, a little bit different. This does not have Wi-Fi. Does have a LAN and WAN port, but now we have dual ATA ports. So if I need two lines for the services, we're good there. Provide two. Then we run up to the QX204, and exactly that. It has 4 analog ports on there. LAN, WAN for pass-through as well. Still supports all your fax services for T.30 and T.38. Our provisioning services are all the same, and our voice functionality features are also the same as on the QX300 and the 202. And then our last one we have is our QX208 VoIP ATA router, which is an 8-port. So maybe if you've got a facility that has multiple lines in, and you can use one single port or one single device for all those lines as well also. Now, one of the advantages of having this pass-through feature that's on the back is I can stack these on top of each other. So maybe I only need 12 lines. I could take an 8-port and a 4-port and daisy chain those Ethernet connections together, and I can register all my lines at the same time. They'll be on separate IP addresses to remotely manage these, but I can at least have the pass-through, so I'm not taking up ports on my switch that I can use for other applications as well also. So yeah, this is the products. We also have a QX312, I believe it is. It's coming out here fairly soon. They'll be showing up on our website. It's basically just like this 202, but it's going to have one FXS port and one FXO port. So if you need to tie into an existing paging system or an existing phone system to provide SIP trunking on those analog lines, it's a great way of providing voice services on that phone system as well also. And that you'll see updates coming up on the website shortly. So with that, Julie, I would like to open up and see if there's any questions that we can cover. I don't think I see any here on the dashboard.
I've got them, Bill.
Awesome. I knew you would.
Thank you so much for that wonderful presentation. And don't worry about the questions. I've got them here, and I'm going to read them off to you one at a time.
Okay.
Let's get started with the first one. Let's see here. We've got regarding the QX300 VoIP ATA router. Will this work with all U.S. internet providers?
U.S. internet providers, yes. Yeah.
Thank you
Anytime
so
you have a connection with, I hope I'm understanding the question correctly, but yeah, anytime you have internet connection, you can connect to this device and it will then register. Now, maybe the question is like this, Julie, and I'll throw this out there. So this device is just hardware only. So if you're looking to connect voice services to that, you have to be working with a third-party SIP service provider. If you don't have one, you can contact us here at ReadyNet. We can give you some carriers that we work with here in Salt Lake City to provide those services, and they're actually very cost effective. I've seen some services as low as $10 a month for unlimited inbound and outbound traffic, and that includes long distance costs as well. And then you've got, of course, your mandated FCC taxes and state taxes and all that on top of that. But for $10 a line, it's a lot better than the $35 that you might be paying today.
Excellent. Thank you, Bill, for that additional information. Next question here for you. Can you tell us about the warranties on these devices?
Yeah, all products on the ATA products all come with a 1 year's manufacturer's defect warranty on it. And so we'll support the product, up 1 year. Also, you'll notice where we're showing the support page here, the QX300 support page or the 202 support page. We support firmware and we do firmware updates periodically based on feature sets that would benefit. But pretty much our firmware has been pretty rock solid on the ATAs, and you can just click on the firmware. You'll get updated information on the firmware updates that are available and instructions on how to do the firmware update. You'll also find information like here. We've got the quick installation guide, the remote provisioning overview, and auto provisioning information as well too. So if you have your own voice switch, you can set it up. We can redirect and point these through our configuration server to point it to your provisioning servers as well also. But yeah, all products come with a 1 year warranty on parts and labor.
Excellent. Thank you for all that information, Bill. Next question here for you. Will the QX300 support EU plugs since it looks like the adapter or plug is removable?
It is removable, and this is a US certified and approved connector. So there are some for other countries. We have done some in the European bloc, but you'd have to work with your distributor, your account manager, but we can get in Euro connectors and specific connectors for certain countries.
Thank you, Bill. Next question here for you. Can managed ATA also power an access point?
No, there's no PoE on the outputs of any of the ATA LAN or WAN ports. I think that's what they were going with on that part.
Yes, thank you so much. Next question here. Is the web interface for the ATA routers all the same for all devices?
Yes. Yeah, in fact, that's a really good question. So let's see. Let me see if I can pull one up here really quick. I'll I should have probably, yeah, I'm not logged in, but let me see. Well, we might be able to make this work. If I've got myself set up on the right page, which I do. So here's an LTE router. So I can take a look at this one. And once I go into it, here is the configuration for the ATA settings. And so once you go into here, you can then provision your voice services onto the router itself from the portal. So as long as this device is checked in and it shows that I am connected to this device, this just happens to be an LTE router that they're using for voice services. I can provision this, I can give it a name, and I can do that all from the portal. So I don't have to be on site or have to pre-provision it before I go out. I can send the router out to the customer, have them plug it into their network. Once I see that it's checked in, I can then go in and put in its provisioning credentials in there. Great question.
Thank you very much. I got another one here for you. With the ATA, do I need a physical phone, or can I have a phone with remote desktop access?
Well, remote desktop access is usually some type of a soft phone.
Correct.
Yeah, so that would not apply on a device. So these devices would require a physical interface to either a fax machine, an alarm panel that you would plug into, or a 2500 set or a Princess telephone to get your, to do voice calls. So to use this with a soft phone, there's no need to have a soft phone on these licenses.
Thank you very much. Next question, Bill. Will all of your ATA routers support all VoIP phones?
All voice phones, they support all analog phones. If it's an IP phone, no. These are all analog interfaces that you would plug your phone into. And what I mean by a phone, we're talking like, whoops, I can't even spell. This would be like so this is what we call Princess phones. AT&T trim lines are known as Princess phones. A cordless phone you could use on there. The other one that was very popular in its day was the 2500 set, and that's this style of a phone. So these are classic analog 2500 sets. So hopefully that from that visual, that'll give you an idea of the analog phones that we're working with.
Yes, thank you so much, Bill. A couple more questions for you. Mm-hmm. Will your voice routers support Wi-Fi 6?
Great question. Right now, the Wi-Fi is only 802.11. So the one you're thinking about is the AX router for Wi-Fi 6. This one doesn't, but we have products in development that will support Wi-Fi 6.
Excellent.
And I'll tell you, part of the reason why we didn't do it on this one is the data that is needed for voice traffic across a Wi-Fi router is so small that we don't need AX speeds or Wi-Fi 6 speeds in order to have a voice call. I mean, we could even get away with something like this. So 802.11n is a 300 megabit wireless router, and that is even oodles of bandwidth to do a voice call.
Excellent, Bill. Thank you so much. Last question here for you. There on your website, do you have a support area where one can go and find customer service and tech support?
Yes. Let's jump over there to that right now. So under support page, just click on that and you can choose on your products. We also have a contact us page here as well too. If you click on the contact page, you can send us an email message. There's an email link for sales. There's an email link for customer service and also an email link for engineering as well too. So if you have a technical call, and then also our appropriate phone numbers as well.
Great, thank you for that. We're always interested in making sure everyone can have that information for whatever it is that they may need. And there you have it, customer service, tech support, and sales. Excellent. Bill, thank you so much for answering all of those questions for us today. And also thank you to everyone attending. If anyone has any further questions, of course, please feel free to contact your sales rep, or you can email us at sales@microcomtech.com. And if you wish to view any of the products mentioned or shown today, please visit us at www.microcom.us. And remember, this webinar presentation has been recorded and will be uploaded to our Microcom YouTube channel. So if you'd like to view it again, you could, of course, do so on YouTube. Thank you, Bill. Appreciate all of your time and all of your valuable information for us today. Everybody, have a fantastic day.
Thank you very much. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you, Bill. Bye-bye.
Bye.